Alright, apparently I'm live. I'm gonna wait for some people to get on here. It's Monday morning here in Perth, and I'm having a coffee. And this is my Monday morning ritual, which is have some coffee and play some guitar and think about everything I'm going to do for the rest of the week. Hello Germany. I imagine it is very early in the morning there, or quite late at night. I don't know what the time difference is. Tennessee, cool. I've never been to Tennessee. I would love to go there. Argentina, we got Montreal. This is fun. What's everybody up to? I imagine it's Sunday night, so you're getting the Sunday night blues. How's it going? I'm really good. Solar, mate. I hope you're doing all right. Fantastic. Looks like a lot of Eastern Seaboard folks. It's only 6:15 in Arizona. I remember in 2013 driving across Arizona, and there's that roadhouse that has the dinosaurs, and that transported me back to my childhood. That was absolutely amazing. But yeah, the audio probably sounds like dirt because I've got my phone for the live stream and studio monitors, and it's not super loud. There's a veritable meeting of the Guitar UN. That's great. That has made my morning. Yeah, well, I tried something with my coffee today as well, and it's okay. I have there's a local coffee roaster, only about 10 minutes from me, which I discovered recently. They do some really good single origin stuff, and I had like a tiny amount of the last stuff I tried and a lot of the new stuff, and I was like, oh, I'll do like a 50-50 blend, and it's not as good as I expected. So kind of like blending amps sometimes. You're just like, yeah, I'll do a Fender and a Marshall, it'll sound sick, and it's fine. It's fine. Something I wanted to show you guys. Part of the reason I'm just playing a bunch of guitar this morning is, can you see this? Dun 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 dun. I'm going to do a demo of this, the Waza-Tube expander from Boss. And Boss in Australia, shout out to Ed from Boss if you're watching. You're probably at work, seeing it's probably like 11 o'clock Monday over on the East Coast in Australia. But yeah, they've been really cool to me. They've loaned me a bunch of stuff, which has been awesome because I get loads and loads of private messages from people like, hey, what do you think of the new Boss thing? Because Boss are releasing so much cool stuff at the moment. And this has been a big one, a very big one that a lot of people have asked about, and I've been pretty stoked about, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I figured I would demo it with this amp because this is a forever amp for me. I never want to move it on, and if it doesn't sound good with this, it doesn't sound good. So I'm gonna film that hopefully today, and then I will put it up maybe at the end of the week or something like that when I edit it. What do you got up to? Straya Robust. What are your thoughts? Oh, the Kemper stage. Yeah, it looks sick. If you like the Kemper, it seems like the ultimate thing because I've tried the KPA a few times. One of my friends owns one, and I borrowed one from a local 919 here in Perth. Yes. But yeah, the thing that I didn't get to try with the Kemper was the floorboard. So I think there was a lot of stuff I missed with it. So it seems like if you've got that built in already, it's just going to make a lot of people happy because a lot of people love the Kemper. And if you love the Kemper, you're probably going to love the Kemper stage because it puts it all in one box, which is cool. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. The Waza-Tube expander. If you guys have any questions about that, let me know. Oh, Chile, cool man. Who else is tuned in here? Greg. Ladies and gentlemen, I did a live stream with Mr. Greg Summers recently, which you can go and watch, and had a lot of fun. And it also introduced me to Chris from the Guitar Pit, and his channel's awesome as well. So go and check out Greg. Go and check out Chris. Greg Summers Music and the Guitar Pit, because they're good dudes, and I really like their channels. And Greg does a lot of really good stuff with the Axe effects, like really good stuff, which I would highly recommend checking out. So yeah, Tube expander. Let me know if there's any amps you guys want to hear it through. I've got the EQ200 here as well, and I've got the DD200 here as well. I just shot a video of the DD200, and that's really cool because I still have a DD20, and tried the DD500. And DD500 is amazing. It's like bigger than the 20, whereas the DD200 is smaller. I was really surprised by how small those pedals are. And the other thing I have to do during the week is I'll grab this. That can just go plop. I put this board together about a week ago. And I really want to do a demo of this. So what I was thinking a cool feature would be is like every month basically do like a community, raise my mic volume. Okay, how do I do that? Maybe if I just lean in here. So yeah, community pedal board number 1, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to do this every month. So Polytune, that's probably going to be on every single one of them. EHX Microsynth, which is awesome. It's so much fun. Look at how beat up that poor pedal is as well. Rev G3, awesome distortion pedal, and Eventide H9, you know, like Swiss Army knife. So this is going to be a really good board. I'll probably try it together with like a DSL or something, and yeah, get that fixed because a lot of people love pedals. I love pedals, and they love amps, and that's some content I would love to pump out. Let me just lean over here because I've missed a bunch of stuff. Duke Fan is making me drool, or maybe it's the bourbon, I'm not sure. I'd love to see a video from showing off the Tube amp fan. I'm not cool. Okay, great. I figure like I've done a plan for this thing, and I'll basically let you guys in. Because I never write notes for stuff. I just kind of press play. But for this, it does so much. What I was going to do is basically like 3 of my favorite amps. Soldano, probably a JTM 45, probably my rectifier, and just show off different facets. Because you have these, the reactive load has different impedance resonance and presence switches, which is really cool. And then there's built-in effects. And it's got a power amp. So you could take a really small amp, like a 15-watt Tiny Terror, and you could load it up, and then you could pump it through this like 100-watt, 150-watt power amp, which is pretty cool. And then there's effects, and there's EQs in there, and it's like Boss have kind of just, you know, they've made the one. You can see I was comparing the actual quality of the load with the X load, and they're both really good. So yeah, that'll be the vibe today. I'm gonna catch up on this. Running both your guitar and bass through the Axe effects. Once you implement that into your gig, then you bring a 3-piece band aside from, okay, that one kind of mics. That's all the equipment you need for a gig. Yeah, we did. We played this festival on Saturday night, which I'm still recovering from because it got pretty silly. I don't know if you guys saw any of the video up on the Ragdoll Facebook page or on my Instagram. Perth sucks for gigs normally, and this was like a I think 14 or 15 band thing, and we kind of like played in that sweet spot where you're not the last band. I think we were like third or fourth last, and yeah, like they got. I mean, if you get 100 people to a gig in Perth nowadays, that's really, really good. There were over 300 people, and good vibe, very, very good vibe in the room. I'm gonna move my thing so I'm not leaning over the whole time. Like super, super vibe. It was really, really fun, and what's the whole point of this? Yeah, it was great because rather than like 15-minute changeovers between bands, they had 2 stages. So it was like a 45-minute changeover, and we showed up, and I immediately said to the sound guy, I was like, what are the odds you can give us a full in-ears mix? So we did the gig, literally, it was this. And we'd had this sound guy before when we opened for Living Colour. Same guy, which was awesome. So I showed up and he was like, Axe Effects? And yeah, basically that, output 1 for guitar, output 2 for bass. And it was really, really, really easy. Like literally the sound check for bass was do, and he got a level, and he was like, yeah, that sounds great, we're done. And we did it all on ears. So that, you know, if you're doing PA for your own gig, then I guess you would need to bring the PA stuff. And yeah, drum mics, so awesome. So awesome. The band who played before us as well, the guitar player was running a Helix, and he was taking photos of my rig. He was like, oh, dude, you know, I actually haven't seen an Axe Effects 3 in the flesh, so I think he really wants to get one. Let's see. So that's my answer to that. Boom, 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 boom. If you had an option between the Axe Effects 3 or a floor version of it, what would you use live? The nice thing about the rack version at the moment is because I've got a floor controller, what ends up happening, because we're running bass and guitar through this just goes basically off stage with our in-ears rig, so it's all in one spot, and then I use a foot controller to control everything. But when the FM3 comes out, I really want to get one just because it's smaller, and that's another option, especially for fly gigs. Like we were in New Zealand last weekend, and I took the AX8, and the AX8's an awesome form factor, and it still sounds so good, but the FM3 is so much smaller. It's just like more space. I could literally, no issue, take that into my carry-on. All I need now is a guitar that's made out of like, you know, composite material or something for fly gigs, so that I can take the neck off, put the FM3 in a box and carry it all on. That would be pretty awesome. So yeah, why not both? Yeah, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I was talking about channels before. We got Ryan from Plagueside Studios in the hood, the hood being my place, which is totally not the hood. And if you're not subscribed to Ryan, what are you doing with your life? Because my favorite channel on YouTube for guitar stuff, that guy. And we constantly message one another and talk shit about gear all the time. So get on that. There's a lot of stuff. I particularly enjoy Ryan's channel because there's stuff people ask me to do, and I'm like, how am I going to do that? Like, that's something that may not be my strong suit. And then I'll look through his channel, and it's like, he did it 6 months ago. It's like, yes. I'm going to send someone a message and go, hey, you want to know how to get a Meshuggah tone out of the Axe Effects? Just do this. It's done. So yeah, man, what's up? Any update on the PRS LT245? Man, it's one of those things, you know, there's delays in the pipe dreams, but one day it'll happen. I mean, like, it exists. It's this. If you can find yourself a black single cut from 2008, you've got it. But what is this? Yeah. Oh wait. The only thing, I always say this guitar's stock, but the only thing I have changed are the tuners. Like, if you have a look at that up close, they look like normal tuners, but they're actually Legato SD90s, and they're just like, they hold tune really well because especially playing live, you know, like I'll do a demo and I'll kind of play and it's relatively controlled. You know, I might play a part like let's sing the Ragdoll song that I play, like, you know, we're doing the new Ragdoll thing or something, so I'm playing it here in the studio, like, play it live and it's more like... And I'm bouncing up and down at the same time as well. My guitar's going so they're very good for that, just for that extra little bit of tuning stability. PRS are really clever as well, because if you look at the way the strings pass over the nut, it's straight string pull as opposed to like a Les Paul or something where the strings kind of splay out. And I mean, that's I'm not promised that I would not get into like a Gibson rant, but that's one thing they could fix. You guys are all talking about bourbon, and I am super boring and I don't drink, so yeah, get around it if all you people who know about the good bourbons. I think Ryan is in Kentucky, which, hey, let's face it, I think if you like bourbon, that's a good place to be. Any further news on the FM3? No, I don't know anything about where that's at the moment, as opposed to what's on the forum. I wish I did, because it's a pretty, like, playing it, I was like, yeah, this is a sick form factor. I think a lot of people just go, but there's only 3 foot switches, what am I gonna do? You know, what I would add to it is probably like a little box with 2 foot switches, one which would let me have tap tempo, and one which would let me like cycle through layouts, and the fact that it has the layouts is sick. Enjoyed the video gig, especially if Van Halen jumped towards the end. Yeah, it's if you guys haven't seen any footage of me playing live, I know it's all very well. I try to stay composed and articulate when we do videos, and yeah, when we do live gigs, I just shout fuck all the time, and I bounce around like a pogo stick. And the way our live show works, because Ryan has to sing and play bass, it gets to like the end of a song, and he has to sing and play bass, but it's like deceptively tricky stuff to play and sing, like with Rust. You know, the rhythm he's playing in the chorus and what he's singing are, like, I can't sing and play. I can't sing, but I can't even like sort of talk and play that song and get the... And he just shows up and nails it. So for him, in between songs, that's like a chance for him to like have a sip of water, take a few deep breaths, you know, and like get his bass comfortable. And so I do a lot of the talking. So I run around like a maniac and then shout at people and tell them what the next song is. And we also never have a set list live, ever. Like, we've played festivals to lots and lots and lots of people and just gone on stage without a set list, and we just kind of wing it. And that's part of the fun with that band, I think. You just get... It's sort of like the three, you know... If you've seen enough of my like tour blogs and stuff, you get like a good insight into what we're all like as people. You get 3 pretty distinct personalities just being themselves, which, you know, for better or worse, because sometimes you go to see a rock band, you want to see like a show, you want to see Kiss level production, and that's something we probably need to work on more. Like, I would love to have some like Pink Floyd style like visuals going with our show and really amp up that side of it, but at the same time, it's pretty honest, and, you know, we just kind of get up there and try to smash it. All right. Newfoundland, Canada. Wow. Can I come and visit? That looks like it would get very, very cold in winter. Phase 90 and a Univibe running into different amp with the rate knobs in unison. Let's do that in the virtual world. I'm going to get a clean sound. Let's go to this one, and I think I've got a vibe in here. If I don't, let's make it happen. The Axe-FX 3 Univibe is in the phaser block, because a Univibe is a phaser. What order do you want them in? Univibe phaser or phaser Univibe? Axe-FX 4, add your vocal and drum mics. Like, I saw a thing recently where Cliff said they made like a prototype interface. A Fractal interface would be pretty rad. Let me see if I can catch up to this chat. Oh my god, I'm so far behind. I think it sounds like summers in Newfoundland are like winters in Australia. Like Australia's pretty insufferably hot in summer, and in winter at the moment, like it's so nice. Hey, there we go. Jeremy, what's up? And Jacob. So Jacob, you're getting an XFX 3 next week. Yes, you're gonna love it, man. It's it's pretty sick. Thoughts on Helix versus Axe-Fx? I don't see it as a verse thing at all. Like I said, I did a gig Saturday night. The band who played before us, the guitar player was using a Helix, and it sounded so good, like so good. And in fact, when I was watching them, I was like, I wonder if this guy's running direct, because it sounds pretty awesome. They had big scrims on either side of the stage, and yeah, it turns out he was running direct, and that was, you know, out of all the other bands I saw that night, that guy's guitar sound was the best. And we were chatting afterwards, and he was like, yeah, man, all I did was get some own hammer IRs, and it made it sound really good. So, yeah, man, if you got a Helix, it's sick. It's like, it's all really good. You know, it sort of becomes splitting hairs after a while, and like, you could spend a whole bunch of time and money worrying about it, or you could just play guitar. So, obviously for what I do, I like this thing. I'm used to the interface. I really like the amps and the sounds, and you know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm probably not going to change, you know, until like an FM3 comes out or something. But you know, there's lots of people who get great tones out of a freaking pod. Check out Lakeside Studios for that. Line 6 cabs are the bottleneck. Yeah, I would say that. I wasn't a super big fan of the Helix IRs, the built-in ones. I wasn't a huge fan of a lot of the built-in IRs in the AX8 and Axe-Fx 2, but now with this, the built-in cabs are just ridiculous. Like, you don't need third-party IRs, even though I do. Like, I made some IRs of my own cabs that I really like, but yeah, that's a big factor. The cab block in this is primo, and the stuff that models the like power amp cabinet interaction, which is in the amp block, is really amazing. The master volume control in the amp block in these things is like the greatest thing ever. It behaves so much like a real amp, and that's, you know, even Cliff mentioned it's probably the most important control in the Axe-Fx. It's authentic. Split the signal before the phase blocks. One block is phase 90, the other is Univibe. Let's do it. Create a parallel row. What am I going to do? I'm going to delete that one. So we've got a parallel row with a phaser. And this isn't going to sound great, but I will do my best. Let's see. There we go. We've got two phasers now. You guys probably can't see this. I probably just sound like a mumbling idiot talking to myself. Right on. Rates synced. Let's go. What's this? This one is a phase 90. Whoa. I'm going to turn that modifier off. So that is doing nothing. I'll turn the rate up. 1.666 hertz. That seems fitting. I'll turn that on. And Univibe. Let's go. So we've got classic vibe. 1.666 hertz. Alright, let's give that a go. You're going to hear guitar sound, and then you're going to hear phaser, and then you're going to hear Univibe. I'll turn this up a bit. Apologies about the sound quality. That's wicked. I really like that. I'm stealing that trick. I will try and work that into a video next time I do something fun with the Axe effects, which no doubt will be the next couple of days or something. That's a super cool trick because you get the like throb from the Liiiiive, but it doesn't sound too washed out. Let's see. I think it sounds great. What 2x12 cab would you choose for a vintage modern? I have a question for you. What sort of sounds are you going for with a vintage modern? If you can get back to me, I'll let you know. Ragdoll Canadian tour. Hey, there's a band from Australia called the Lazies, who I understand are doing pretty well in Canada at the moment. And yeah, man, I would love to come there. What hair products do you use? I've got this like argan oil shampoo at the moment, and I wash my hair like once a week, and that's about it. I think a lot of hair care stuff is highly dictated by genetic factors. And I'm really lucky. My dad's like 62, and he's still got a lot of hair. He hasn't gone bald or anything. We both have this like we got the super strange hairline, which like goes around like that. We're just little clones of one another. What else have I missed? Going to get one of the new Soldano amps. Probably not, because I think that's probably money I would allocate to other projects. Money which I've already allocated to other projects, I should say, because I have an amp on order, a custom thing, which is going to be pretty cool. And that should be, hopefully in the next month or something, it'll all be done and arrived, and I can give you guys more information about it. But I had a question. Did we get back about that vintage modern thing? Will you buy a Kemper stage? Probably not. Don't need it. I will demo one if one comes up or somebody I know buys one. Let's see. Some Ragdoll albums on Spotify out here in Cleveland. Thank you so much. I say this to everybody who writes to me and say that they either bought or streamed a Ragdoll album. It's kind of like, it's essentially a canned response, but it doesn't make it any less true. Like, it really means a lot to me. And I always mention it to the guys, like, oh, you know, I'm going to send them a message after this and be like, hey, you know, someone in Cleveland is listening to our albums. That's pretty cool, right? Because, yeah, all this guitar stuff is super fun, but the end game is always about making music, and the fact that people listen and like the music we make is like the best thing. It's the best thing ever. It really, anytime I read it, it makes my day, even if I'm having a crappy day. So, thank you. Where are we at? Quaid, no comment. I will reveal all at some point. Have you tried a Kiesel guitar? Yes, quite a few, actually. I tried a Vader at Axfest. There's a video up of me playing it, and it was primo. I really liked it. I think that's it. Kiesel, it's the Vader. Yeah, Kiesel are the Vader, and then Ormsby are the Goliath. I always mix those two up. What are your thoughts on the PRS Archon and the Mesa Triple Crown? I played an Archon at the Boston Amp Show, and that was interesting. For some reason, a lot of the clips I hear of that amp, it's doing the like kind of scoopy 5150 thing, but it had a lot of mids. It felt a little bit more like I want to say like a Bogner or something like that, like an Uberschall. It was definitely in that like MIDI modern Marshall thing. A lot more like that and a lot less than like a rectifier or something. I'm sure you could probably do that. I'd love to demo one of those. I didn't like it as much as the PRS MT15, I have to say. The MT15 was really cool. How do I power the home studio? Do I turn it all on and off individually? I have one of these like Furman power strip things. So that turns on the rack and the Axe effects and stuff like that. And then I have another power strip down at my feet under my desk for the rest of the stuff. And my computer pretty much stays on because I use it every day. So maybe once a week I'll power cycle it just cause, you know, that's a thing that apparently you should do. I don't know. I'm not a tech guy, so Real amps are heavy. Yes, real amps are heavy. I don't miss, like I said, we did this festival thing Saturday night, and I loved that I just picked my stuff up and I walked out to my car and I went home. And as I was driving out, I saw all these people like, you know, rolling, trying to, because there's stairs out of the venue or like a ramp, and, you know, they're like trying to hold their Marshall and make sure it doesn't fall over or something. Mono or stereo playing live, 99% of the time mono, just because it means that it makes it easier for the sound guy. Like, you know, sometimes people accidentally sum stuff down to mono and it cancels stuff out, or, you know, they end up only with the left channel coming out. So mono's kind of idiot proof, and I'm an idiot. So 5-minute tones using the amplifier, yeah, that's something I can revisit if people are interested in that, because I really like that little red box, and that's it's now been relegated to the backup for the backup, because I have the 3 and I'm using this live, and the AX8 is the backup now, and the amplifier is the backup to the backup. But if I'm doing a fly date or something and I take the AX8 and leave the 3 at home, then the amplifier comes with. So if there's amps or stuff like that you like to hear in it, it's like Atomic's modeling is really, really good. I wish they would do more with the physical interface and update the unit. Like the amplifier box is really cool, but it's like, unfortunately, because of like where the rest of the market has gone with UI, it's kind of been left behind. So I think if they updated their UI, they would benefit, because I probably like if this didn't exist, that would be probably my favorite set of amp models. Yeah, or unless like Neural DSP or Mercurial are going to start putting their stuff in hardware. It's all, that stuff's all around there. Like the modeling in this, pretty much, I don't think you can touch it, but all these other units get very, very close. And the Atomic is a very good one, and it's very well priced as well. That's what I like. This coffee's a perfect temperature now. Selling my pedals and tube amps. All I would say is, if you can afford to not sell them before you buy an XFX, do that, because you really benefit from the side-by-side comparison. Degent. Yeah, okay. Are we going to degent? I need a degent patch. I shot a video last week on altered tunings as well. If you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, I'll put it out this week. But this is one tuning I didn't cover, where you have in drop C. But you take this string down to A. And it's kind of fun. You can do like really low-tuned 80s heavy metal stuff, because that's an A. So if you were playing... This is why I don't own a 7-string. That was all on the neck pickup too. True. All right, so there's some chunky riffage. Well, that's awesome that we have Ragdoll fans in Newfoundland. Even better. Yeah, if anybody has never met an Australian as well, we're just Canadians with suntans. Like, that's literally the difference. Like, play your favorite jazz fusion lick. Wow. Okay, that's a great request. Let me tone up for this, because I'm gonna need some delay and stuff like that. I need some cheat codes, man. Where's this will do? There's a thing I pinched off old mate Rick Graham, who's very, very good at that stuff. And it's, you take like a lot of jazz fusion is just how to play over different seventh chords. So you take like a seventh chord and you would outline, say, this. Which is essentially, it's like a dominant 7 add 11, or it's a dominant pentatonic scale. And you just had some chromatic passing tones in there, so you would have. And you could twist that, and you could, say, make it a Lydian dominant thing, like. Something like that. Either that, or there is, if you're familiar with the band UK, they put out this one amazing album with Alan Holdsworth on guitar, and the solo in this song, "In the Dead of Night," he plays this lick. There's a lick in there which Eddie Van Halen totally stole for the solo in "Beat It," but yeah, it's just really nice, really melodic. Like it's I'm down a whole step, but it's kind of this. So he plays. So what you're doing, you end up playing like a note on a high string and then hammering onto the same note. You can, you know, do something out like that. Man, I need to do some practice. It's early. This is why I don't play jazz fusion. I really hope someone like Tom Quayle isn't tuning in. Why would he be tuning in here? Have you tried your YJM Strat into one of his signature ODs? I have one of his signature ODs. Thanks for reminding me about that. There's a video in that, so we'll have to try that. Is the Axfex resonator block similar to the TC Electronic body res? I think so, yeah. It's like a fixed flanger, but 4 of them in parallel. I was reading about it last night. The only thing I wish the Axfex had was a built-in power amp like the Kemper. That's something lots and lots of people request. Personally, for me, I like having a separate power amp because if anything happens to the power amp and I need to send it back for warranty or something, I don't have to send the whole unit, but that's just me. The virtual capo, yeah, that's really, really handy. If I practice the, like, I've got our live set list as a playlist that I'll practice before a gig, just as a ritualistic thing. And some of the early stuff we did were tuned down a half step, and now we tune down a whole step, so I just use the virtual capo to compensate for that. And that is very handy when practicing. We got some Ecuador. Excited to see Jake Bowen at the Melbourne Guitar Show. What? Oh, man, I didn't realize he was going to be there. I was considering going and just left it too late. Like, it would probably be way too expensive. But I did talk to Andrew at Independent, who are the distributor for Fractal. over here. There is a guitar festival happening in October in Western Australia, though, so that should be pretty fun. I think they're getting some cool people out who I probably can't mention right now, so I won't do that. Should I make tacos or curry for dinner? That is literally the conversation I have every night with my wife. I've gone like mental with tacos for breakfast. They're my new favorite. They're my staple for breakfast. I'm gonna go make some tacos after this. Tacos for breakfast and curry for dinner. That's life. How much do you bench? Are we talking single rep or are we talking like 3 sets of 12? Because I've been slowly working up. I think I can do like for 3 sets of 12, like 60 kilos. I only weigh about 75 kilos, so I'm trying to work up to my own body weight. Yeah, and you know, the physique that I have for when I could like bench half of that, it just has barely changed. So a lot of people are always like, man, you need to eat, and believe me, I fucking eat so much. And it's one of those, I think it's probably a genetic thing. Maybe I have like a hyper metabolism, but I'm sure that will run out one day and I'll just become a fat blob. UK in the Dead of Night, man, what a song. What a song. And also George Lynch, because I think Lynch pinched a few Holdsworth things as well. How do you set up the noise gate? In the Axe Effects, I just use the input gate, and I set the threshold between like -60 and -40, and I just turn the attack and the release all the way down, and the ratio to about 3. That's pretty good, but we have, like, I'll show you guys something. In the live preset I use, there's my normal, like, rhythm sound. Hey. So that's what the gate's doing there. And then there's a few things where I need a really percussive muted thing. So I crank the gate up like all the way and put a multi-band compressor on. You get... I've got a tuner in here. Why am I not using it? I'm a bit flat. There we go. That's better. So yeah, just for those... Yeah, it really works nicely, especially together with a multi-band. Just to make sure, we should clone this guy. More unison bands, edited a lot of symmetrical licks. Yeah, if you guys want to get into playing legato, take, and I recommend this with a lot of my students as well, like say you took 12, 14, 16 and you practice... And then you stretch that out, so it's, you could go to 12, 15, 18, which is a diminished arpeggio. And then stretch it out more, so you get 12, 15, 19, which is a minor arpeggio. Very George Lynch, very Eddie Van Halen. Very Dimebag Darrell. You could do a major. Oh, that one's really not fun. I was at Axefest. They had Jason Richardson there, so he's doing his thing, which was mind-bendingly insane. And he was going on about Rick Graham and his like muted legato thing. That Can I have some cheat codes, please? Yeah, I can't do it. Because Rick is ridiculous. I'm going to practice this stuff later today, actually. Make a video about the effects you can almost only make with the Axe FX 3. Hell yeah, that Blade Runner preset that Matt posted is, yeah, I'm going to have to do that and do some synth stuff. We're doing it with a traditional pedal board would be very hard. It would be very, very hard. What's my favorite key to play in? D minor, because it's the saddest of all keys. You should do exactly nothing. I do not like people telling me what to do. That's okay. That's great. That's rock and roll, man. Hey, man, I love your vids. Thank you. I love you. Taco, yes, you're live, but got to work. Well, have a great day. You can always tune in and I'll post this later. What do you think about the Gibson lawsuit with Dean Guitars? It's all a bit silly, I think. And I don't know anything about the law, so that's about there. Love your channel. Any other John Sykes tone secrets? Favorite tone of all time? Yeah. Geez, John Sykes was good. I think a big part of, like, it sounds like he's using a whammy bar sometimes when he's not. Let me go over to the C++. And like a lot of stuff he does where it's like he'll pre-bend and then release it. So, you know, on a guitar with a whammy bar, you could hit this note and then you can whammy it, whereas he'd go like... like that kind of thing. It sounds like you've got a whammy bar, but you don't. And a lot of those... etc., etc. Yeah, John Sykes was pretty good. What video is it where I'm playing the Vader? I think it's the FM3 video that I did at Axfest. That would be about right. Where did you learn about using EQ? Literally, most of the stuff I learnt about that was because I got an Axe-Fx Ultra, and you've got all the EQs and stuff in there. A lot of it comes from trying to mix stuff that I recorded as well, so working in a DAW. But yeah, when you've actually got those tools readily available, you figure out how to use them pretty naturally. Times in Australia, about 10 a.m., I would say. My phone's here. What a moron. Yeah, it's 2 minutes past 10, so I will hang around for a little bit more. Does the Axe-Fx have a Mesa Mark 1 model? Kind of. It has an amp called USA Clean, and you can do Mark 1 stuff on that. I really, really like that one. Is there any chance in hell I can get the diesel sounds you got on the Axe 3 on my 2XL Plus? Yeah, I'd say you'd be able to get pretty close. If you have Fractal, what you can do is load up a preset and get a readout of all the parameters. So if you take that preset, download it, read out all the parameters, and just go in and plug them into your Axe-Fx 2, you should be able to get pretty close if you use the same IR. Yep, almost midday on the East Coast. What are we talking about? Do a video about the Legato thing. Yes. When I do some practice. Hey, we got the Tone King. Ladies and gentlemen, another great channel. Thanks, man. That means a lot. I remember a little anecdote. You know, getting interested in internet guitar stuff, and the Tone King was one that kept coming up. I think because of the Soldano videos, and I was like, that guy's got a Soldano. That sounds sick. So that's awesome. SG, oof. I do like SGs. All right, we're up to speed. Excellent. And here we are. I reckon. Actually, you know what was super cool? The way I heard about the new Marshall Studio series with those Tone King videos. Yeah, I like that. I still haven't tried one. I'm sort of really hanging out to try one of the 203 style ones. Just because the idea... Oh, I heard Brett Kingman's video with it as well, which sounded really good. Would you rather have... this is amazing. Would I rather have to fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck. A horse-sized duck? Wow. Now 100 ducks would be pretty hard to fight, but if they're horses with kicky hooves, ooh. Yeah, you guys know the thing about like dinosaurs and the way all the new information they've discovered about dinosaurs and the way they've had to classify them, where they've basically gone, okay, cool, here's the family, part of the animal family tree where we had birds. We're going to change that so we have dinosaurs, and then you have like non-avian dinosaurs on one branch, and then you have avian dinosaurs on the other branch, and all birds are in the avian dinosaur thing. So like a horse-sized duck would just be it'd be a dinosaur. Like, that sounds terrifying. I don't want to fight that. Maybe you could, if it could fly, it'd be even worse because it'd be swooping in at you. I'm getting totally sidetracked. You tried the Silver Jubilee and bought a full-size head for less than the new one. Well, there you go. I would much rather have a full-size Silver Jube than a mini one, I think. Even though the mini one does look really good and would be handy. Yeah, that's interesting. That is very interesting to know. Most underrated Lynch riff. Ooh, I don't know if it's underrated, but what's track 2 on Wicked Sensation? River of Love. That. That's not how you play it. I don't know how to play it, but it's something like. He's doing something like that. That one's really good. And there's a song on Wicked Sensation called Rain or something like that. It's got that like George Mixolydian thing that he does, you know, with the, like it's. Yeah, 99% of my soloing is probably just ripped off from George Lynch. Like, I love how he does that thing where it's like, yeah, chord 1, you play the Mixolydian mode, and then it changes to, you know, it might be like C, and then it'll go to A flat, and you'll play natural minor over that. George is awesome. What IRs did you use on the Diesel sounds? Probably one that I made. And they are all on Axchange. So you can go to the Axchange website, because I know a lot of people do Axchange through AxEdit. So go to the website, look up my handle, which is 2112, and you can download them all free. Yeah, if you really feel like you want to pay me some money or something like that for it, go to our Bandcamp page and like download a single or an album, because that is a far more effective way to support what I do. Let's see. Anyone agree that Lynch Mob was better than Dokken? What do you think? I think it sounds like George was having more fun in Lynch Mob. Where I embarrassed myself trying to play Lynch Mob riffs. I'm in a drop. There we go. I will say this, sir. Have you guys heard Don Dokken's album Up From the Ashes? that he put out kind of around the same time George did Lynch Mob. I got a spam call coming in. You can go away. That's a really, really good album. Like, there's Dokken's songs that I love, but it always sounded like just pretty cookie cutter. Like The Hunter, incredible song. And Lynch Mob, yeah, that first Lynch Mob album's great. But it sounds like Don Dokken up from the ashes. He got to do what he wanted to do. George got what George wanted to do with Wicked Sensation. It's like win-win. So on Up From the Ashes, there's this guy called Billy White on there. And a guy called John Norum of Europe fame. John's amazing. And I just assumed John did all the solos, but I found out later this guy Billy White did all my favorite solos on there. He's amazing, and now he has nothing to do with like rock music. He does it's some kind of new age thing with music, and he plays flamenco, and he plays flamenco really well. So yeah, those shovels are sick. Gassing for an FM3. Honestly, like I said, when I went over and did AxeFest, the setup they had like a conference room with all the cool stuff and all the clinics, and I had another room. It was Matt Picone, who is Fractal's head of everything else, as he likes to put it. And we had an AxeFX3 in there, and we had an FM3 in there running through the same setup. And once everyone had gone home, I was hanging out with Matt and Zach Monovitz of a little group called Immune, another guy you should go and check out because his production and his playing and his singing is unbelievable. Zach is like, it's like if you took Periphery and put them into one person and made them like 20 years old. Bastard. So yeah, Zach's another great guy I would highly recommend checking out. I love his stuff. And just a good dude, like super enthusiastic. You know, you spend a lot of time hanging around cynical assholes in the musical business, and being around somebody who's just like fresh and, you know, full of positive energy is really good. But yeah, anyway, long story short, put the FM3 next to the XFX3, could not tell the difference. One thing that's amazing about it, and this might seem like a nothing, when you use the front panel on the XFX3, you set it up in a rack and you're pointing that way, whereas the FM3 is on the floor, so you're pointing down, and it's so much more comfortable. You know, it's the way you use pedals, it's what we're used to. So the fact that you like going down on the fact that you're going down on it is so much more impressive. I'm gonna leave that one there. Dokken or Rat? Oh, probably Rat, man. Just for this. But if I had to choose Lynch Mob or Rat, that's a lot harder. Oh, Into the Fire. That is such a sick song. What's the name of the Diesel preset? It's probably called Herbie and Friends. If I haven't put it up, I'll put it up after this. Just let me know. FM3 and the Satanic Toaster in a bedroom studio would be an awesome combo. Yeah, definitely. The thing as well is, like, if you're not into amp modeling, the FM3 is a great effects processor. Like, it can do everything that like a Timeline, a Big Sky, and a Mobius can do, but in one unit. And it's way cheaper too. So that would be another great thing as well. Like if you're using a traditional pedal board and you got the Stry Effector on there and you've got a bunch of like Boss pedals or something, could also replace that, which is pretty exciting. Mua G100, have I? I've tried the 200. You might be biased, but Seratone's Son of Yeti. Ooh, I haven't tried the Street Rod, so I really can't say side by side, but the Son of Yeti is unreal. They also do they've started doing, you know, there's a Yeti and the Chupacabra, and they're slightly different modded Marshall things. They do a Son of Chupa as well. So Seratone, and you know, Nick at Seratone's awesome. You can literally just email him and be like, hey man, I want this, 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 and this. And he'll be like, yeah, I can do that. So maybe flick him an email. DiMartini, yeah, you know, like DiMartini's just, that's a really good way of saying it. He's a very hooky player, and Lynch, I mean, he kind of pinched Lynch's style in a lot of ways, and they both kind of acknowledge that. But I really like the way Warren just puts it all together. It's like, it's kind of like, you know, Warren's always like consistent. Like he's always, if this is your average guitar player, Warren's like up here, but then George is like at his best up here, and then sometimes down here. You know, you never know which George you're gonna get. Some things I've seen of him playing, and I've seen Lynch Mob live and stood like this far away from him with like an old, like a 68 Plexi just roaring in my face, and watching him do that stuff, he was basically just playing straight into the amp, no effects, and it was an experience for like a 19-year-old kid to just watch your guitar hero just there, absolutely milking the guitar. He played so well. It was like a religious experience. But I've seen other things where it kind of hasn't been. Maybe it's like, you know, he was having a bad day or something. So, yeah, Warren's cool. Do you play Crocus? Someone mentioned Crocus in here. Yeah. Oh man, I love that band. That's what's the song? I forget which album it's off, but they have a song called "Flying Through the Night," and it's just like AC/DC, but with like a Journey chorus. Do you have a dedicated practice routine? Not really. What I will do is, with practicing, I'll basically like sit around, and if I had a show, you know, the night before or something, or I was trying to do something and I continually kind of cocked it up, like if there's a part of our set, or there's a particular solo or a particular riff where I like made mistakes, I'll go back and revisit that and really fine tune it. But I just kind of like, one day during the week, I'll try and work on legato stuff. Another day during the week, I'll try and work on picking stuff. And another day during the week, I'll just sit down and try to like write music. That's more beneficial, I find, than just dedicated practice. You know, if there's something I'm really sucking at, then I'll go and look at that. But most of the time, I'll just be like, okay, write some music, make something that can come in handy down the track. So that's more the focus for me. There you go. Enjoy it. Let me know how you go. Favorite Aussie riffs? Well, hard to go past this one. Oh God, not this part. Oh man, I need to practice that solo. That's rough, dude. I get the Zach claw happening. I don't know how he does that. You can hear how much I suck at that, but yeah, that's, you know, it's probably heresy to say it's not a Randy Rhoads riff, but yeah. The axe as an interface is fantastic. Hi, Turtle Tops, yeah. Hey, I got this for free at the last gig I did, so I'm going to make the most of it. You take what you can get these days. I'm using the UAD as my primary interface because I do obviously a lot of demo stuff. So I need a quick and accessible mic preamp for my voice, and it's just a little bit easier to do it with the Apollo. So I go SPDIF out of this into the Apollo, and I use a little converter that I got for like $10, and it works great to do the SPDIF to optical, which is awesome. Man, George Lynch, Warren DeMartini, and Jake Ely all lived in the same apartment. That's just crazy. Demonetized, yeah. Yes, sorry. Tried the MI Audio Megalith. No, would love to. MI are like probably one of the most important Australian guitar-related companies in the last 20 years or something. Michael Ibrahim has done some awesome stuff. He's kind of like the Australian Mike Soldano, I want to say. Yeah, I would love to meet that guy and just be like, you make cool stuff, keep it up. So would have been cool to be a fly on the wall. Yeah, no doubt about that. Try the Friedman stuff, then it'll get you there. Gotta have some greasy Zachness. Oh yeah. Have you done the Florida Man challenge? Yeah, it was like Florida Man steals ice cream cart or something like that. I loved that one. One thing I want to talk about is, you know, that like, because it always reminds me of that No More Tears solo. Something I'm not very good at is the 2-note per string stuff, like the... Yeah, there's a lot of that. Like, that's kind of where I top out. If I make it 3-note per string... and I love Zach, and I love Michael Schenker, and I love Randy, and they do so much of that. I guess Michael Schenker's different because he does a lot of that. But yeah, that like Soli No More Tears, that's I cheat at the end there. Like I'd go. This is why I'll never get the Aussie gig, because I can't do that. Yeah, he is a pentatonic wizard. There was a video I saw of Michael Schenker, I want to say late 90s, and he's just sitting in the studio, like, you know, he's got his V, and he's, oh my God, he's playing so good on it. It was like God tier. I know Schenker's great, but he was doing a lot of, like, more modern, like... doing all that kind of stuff. I need to tune my guitar. It was scary. Super scary. Made me want to quit. But yeah, that kind of stuff, that's just something I've always never really got. Whereas, you know, the Pablo Gilberto stuff. All that kind of stuff feels really natural, maybe because I practice it so much, whereas the 2-note per string stuff is more of a challenge. Eric Johnson as well, somebody I love his playing and really struggle with that. See, that doesn't sound like Eric Johnson, that sounds like me. That's my, like, mutated version of trying to get all that kind of stuff. But, you know, sweep it, start downstroke high E. So you're saying, hey, I learned something new on the internet. Oh man, that feels even more uncomfortable. Ugh. Oh my God, that's gonna haunt my dreams. There's something about 2-note per string that kills my mind too. Yeah, there's some people who just you know, I'm sure Troy Grady would be able to explain this because he knows everything about picking mechanics. There's probably like a pick angle thing in there or something like that. Any tour dates in California? Not yet. Hopefully we can come over on the next album cycle when it's done. What's your favorite guitar? This one. I'm playing it right now. Favorite guitar that I own. Love it. Absolutely love it. I don't know. Sometimes you just find a guitar that works for you. So, yeah, the 2-note per string stuff is... And I've been through this debate with myself a lot where it's like, you know, I'd love to be able to do it because I love watching someone like Zach rip. But in trying to find a workaround for it, it's something which sounds different. Like, you know, say I wanted to do this. Or this. My solution to that is like, all right, well, I'll do it 3 notes per string. And I'm doing it with pull-off, so that sounds different. And then it's like, well, I can turn that into a different sort of lick. Like I could go... And suddenly I'm in like a different zone. Like this, for me, feels really cool. And it's just a bit different. And sometimes developing your own style is realizing the amount of work you need to put into something probably isn't worth it. Whereas I could put less work into sounding more like myself. So that's my cop out for all this kind of thing. And you know, it works. There's a lot of like things that I do which I don't think I ever would have thought about if I just, you know, just learnt the official tab or something. One workaround as well. I'll show you guys this because it's a real mutt of a lick. Say you take that like classic Paul Gilbert 3-note per string. Do I tune off my Axe effects? Yes. You know, this lick. So you take that, but you do it through a pentatonic scale, 2 notes per string. I know this sounds weird. So you would double up, like maybe the first note, like... And I don't even know what I'm doing here. It's just a nervous twitch, but you get this. Which sounds kind of aggressive and kind of like Zach. But it's not 3 notes per string. It's not. And it's not. There's only 2 notes on there. But you know, you play it fast and it sounds aggressive and it sounds cool. So that's something I figured out a long time ago, and that's how I cheat that kind of style. Yeah, 245. Yes, this is a 245. You were meant to send it to me for verification. Yes, it's in the mail with the check. Yeah, it's really good. You know, yeah, sounds great. I use it all the time live, and I mean, you know, if it's good enough for live use, and I've been using it in the studio too and recording stuff. So that used to do 3-note per string pentatonic legato stuff in No Rest for the Wicked. Yeah, I would say that Zach's whole philosophy is, at the time, think about that whole era. Someone called it the Olympic era of guitar playing. You know, you had so many amazing players kind of all doing the same thing. And no one was doing that like psycho pentatonic thing. So I'd say he just kind of really lent into that style. He could do that well, and I mean, he survived where so many of those other players didn't. You know, their careers went, and then Zach's style was kind of perfectly suited for the 90s. So, yeah. Australian accent. Was born in Sydney, but was dragged to the UK. Fantastic. Welcome. The C-bomb is a term of endearment in Australia as well, and the UK, which Americans just don't get. So, I think I speak for most of us here when I say I would love to see Ragdoll live. That would be fun. Imagine you could just get. Maybe I'll have to live stream a gig, and then everybody can get a taste of it. But hopefully, when this new album gets done, we'll do plenty of touring, and hopefully we come to the States. Hopefully we come to Europe, because they're way more worthwhile than touring Australia. Australia is so expensive to tour, and there's like 3 big cities to play in, and you're done. Whereas America and Europe can drive like 2 hours, and you're in another huge city. So it's well worth our time. Do you use the 594? I did. PRS hooked me up with a loaner when I was in the States, and I used a 594 for my clinic at Axfest, and I picked it up from them. They were like, be really careful, it's an expensive guitar. I was like, you got it. So the first thing I did was tune it down to drop C. I didn't change the setup. And 5 minutes later, I was doing the clinic, and it sounded great. The advantage of the 594 are there are like factory coil taps, and the pickups are a bit different. Otherwise, kick-ass guitar, man. Like, really, really, really nice. All right, well, I'm going to go and live stream the gig is a great idea. Live video recording. Yeah, we've got a live album just sitting on the back burner, which we need to get mixed and out at some point. So, and I've got video from that gig we did. So at some point there will be some of that, which will be pretty cool. How's the EQ200? Yeah, I'm going to shoot the in-depth demo for it this week as well. Maybe today if I get the time, once I do the Waza. So it's really good. Really, really good. Pre-post with an EQ is just unreal. Anyway, I'm going to split. I'm going to go make some tacos and then do some work. Thank you for all the questions. This was a lot of fun for an impromptu live thing. I got to do more live stream stuff, and I got to do it with my interface so that you can hear my voice better and you can hear my guitar better. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night if it's night. Have a great day if it's day, and I will see you all around real soon. How do I log off of this thing? What do I do?